In terms of kind of what the last maybe kind of year or 2 years has been you, could you compare it maybe to other ventures that you've tried? I know that you've done kind of like multi-level marketing or other type of things. How would you compare us, or where would you maybe rank ATN compared to those other things?
I would definitely rank it at the top. Again, it's the things I looked into. They say that they're passive income, but they don't end up actually being passive income, and they don't end up being exactly what you think you're buying into. So I would definitely rank it on the top. Plus, it again truly set it and forget it, but also just seeing those returns right away.
So, Stacy, tell me a little bit about yourself. What is your professional background?
So I've been in supply chain management the past 15 years, so I'll just stick with that. But really kind of all different areas of the supply chain, most recently in the logistics space.
Got it. Okay. And what was your like main motivation wanting another source of income for yourself?
Well, really I'm looking to leave the corporate world. My kids have graduated. I don't need to kind of be as tied down to the golden handcuffs as I have been. Obviously, so basically it started off me looking to ways to replace my income, but not be in that corporate space anymore.
Understood. What does it take on a month-to-month basis to replace your income? 10K, 12,
Well, really about 15 to 16.
16? I was selling you short. What have you actually tried before in terms of making an additional income that's kind of more passive that you can replace that main source?
So some of the other things that I'm looking at also, or that I'm actually actively doing, is kind of some real estate investing. So acquiring properties kind of through tax liens and deeds and things like that, and kind of getting into that real estate space,
Okay.
learning about all that.
Okay. And is that a new thing that you're doing? Have you been able to make any purchases just yet, or not at this point?
It's fairly new. I have had a few tax lien purchases, and I have like a property that's going up to auction this month, just land and things like that at this point. But whenever I've officially technically leave my corporate job, then I'm looking to have more capital to kind of make some bigger purchases and make bigger moves in that space than what I'm doing right now. But I'm just trying to even learn it, drinking from a fire hose. So
Yeah, we definitely, real estate is one thing. So I have a fourplex that I just bought in Tucson. Well, like I bought it like 18 months ago, and that was not a perfect experience. Me getting into rental income. So we're actually close, like getting that sold here. Like finally, it's getting
oh
on
really?
my plate. It's closing on the 15th. So I'm thankful because it's addition by subtraction. But I still do value real estate. I still do know that people need a place to live. It's not going to go away, and they're not making new land, right? I do understand the value of real estate, but I'll kind of let you really dive into this because I know as well the tax liens and the auctions and things like that. It's a
Yeah.
good way to kind of get immediate equity, or kind of like get access to equity pretty quickly. I think that if you can make it work, I'll be very interested to hear the process and see if we
Yeah.
make a partner.
Yeah, definitely. I figure a lot of people make it work. A lot of people are in that game. So I just gotta figure it out and make it happen. So,
Yeah, yeah,
but it's easy to get burned too. So
for sure. So, but I wish you the best of luck. And if anything that we can do as far as resources are concerned, we do have a lot of manpower and people that can, we'll just kind of keep that in the back of our pocket.
awesome.
So what have you tried before in terms of looking to make passive income, or did you've got your real estate thing, but did you actually like invest into anything else before, or how does that look on your end?
I've purchased into a few different things like book publication, like basically affiliate marketing, things like that. What I determined is that they're not super passive. And I'm just not trying to have some like social media like persona. I don't even care social media that much, to be honest with you. So I certainly don't want my livelihood tied to it.
Yeah.
And it just really wasn't that passive. So I
It
want
makes
other things.
I'm not big into social media either. I don't know if people can notice, but it's not actually me who's typing a good amount of that stuff. I'll make the picture. I'm actually taking the pictures and doing that type of stuff, but I just send it into my content team, and they just they
Yeah.
just run with it. So that's not really my thing, but I know a lot of my core audience, they do scroll and things like that. So you gotta, doesn't matter where I'm at, it matters
Yeah, for sure.
where my clients are. So love
Yeah.
it. You then, was there a specific maybe ad or something that stuck out? How did you actually hear about us?
It was an ad on I don't know, Instagram, Facebook, one or the other. They all blend together to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was kind of like one of the things that there was several coming through. My algorithm updated, if you will. So there was a lot of things that were coming through, and some of those things are what I was just referring to that I kind of like looked into and went through their training and all of that. But basically, that is how I heard about ATN, was through one of those ads.
I love it. And how did
Yeah.
you feel just before kind of getting started? Were you skeptical? Were you nervous? How did you go through
Very
that?
skeptical. I'm skeptical about most things,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially when it comes to your money.
Yeah.
So
Fair. Fair. But what got you past it? What ultimately made you just step across the line? You saw the ad, you were like, oh, this may be interesting. And then you book the call and you find out kind of everything that's involved. There's a cost associated. What actually made you decide to pull the trigger?
I think it was a lot of, well, watching a lot of the testimonials help, but really it was my feeling on what was appealing to me was that the currency piece of it, that's the trading of the currency. So it doesn't matter how the US dollar is doing. It's really just how currency is flowing around the world that we're tapping into here. And that was appealing to me because I'm like, I feel like that feels I'm going to win no matter what's happening in the US.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? A lot of stocks are tied to either one specific company or a grouping of those specific companies. A lot of kind of real estate is tied to how is the United States economy doing, whether it's really great and the interest rates are low and the home prices are affordable, or the economy is terrible and interest rates are the worst that it's been in decades, and the home prices are skyrocketing. So that definitely, when you're dealing with world currency, you're dealing with hundreds of different countries and their currency. It does leave a lot of opportunity to have some profits.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you recognize that. How did you, when you got set up, who helped you? Was it Aquila, David, Julio? Who was a part of that process?
It was with Julio.
Oh, but very nice. So you got the main guy. How was that process?
Oh, it was super easy. I'm not the most technical savvy person, but I have worked in the tech industry 15 years, so I have a little bit. So I think it was very, very straightforward with him. He's super helpful. I've contacted him a few times since for other questions, and he's super helpful and always willing to like hop on a call and troubleshoot and go through it step by step. So I
Love it.
really appreciated that.
And how has ongoing communication been? Is it easy to reach him? Is it easy to kind of get communication on that end?
Yeah, it is. I hadn't been on. I had seen that everything had moved to Slack, but I hadn't actually like been in there. And actually, I tried to reach him on Slack, but I directly messaged him. So then I ended up just texting him, and he's like, "Yeah, let's like sort all of this out." So he's very responsive. And then now we're on Slack, and all's been good. He's very responsive.
Excellent.
And the team for that matter. So
And when that's what we wanted, we didn't. When it's just a text message, it's just a one-to-one communication,
yeah,
which is fine. But sometimes if there's tens of texts to respond to, it may take a little bit of time. So we did want to have a setup to where there's multiple people. Our whole success team is on your specific channel, on each individual client specific channel. So if it takes whoever your main point of contact, which in this case is Julio, if it takes him a little bit of time, then somebody else will kind
yeah,
of
sure.
respond. So
That's got to be nice to him too to
yeah.
have some support there.
When we first got started, he handled the first 150 clients. So we're definitely glad that we have a full team now. Maybe that's a part of what makes ATN different. But in your eyes, what do you feel like is kind of makes us a different type of a company that you've worked with in the past or maybe looked into?
Well, I was definitely we're living in an age of AI and algorithms and things like that, and I feel I would be an idiot to try to not tap into some of the cool things that are happening in that space. And the fact that this is truly like I don't need to know how to do the trading, and I'm not trying to learn how to do it. It's literally touch it, like set it and forget it. So that is all super appealing, like taking advantage of the technology. And then Julio, everybody that I talked to, even from the first conversation, were super helpful and helped me kind of like navigate the decision
Yeah.
really. So definitely all of those reasons really.
I love it. I love it. And how quickly on your account, like when you got everything set up, how quickly did you actually start seeing passive cash flow start to come through?
It was within the next it was, like, within the first, like, few days that I started to see some earnings.
Love
Yeah.
it. I love that. And you, in terms of kind of what the last maybe kind of year or 2 years has been you, could you compare it maybe to other ventures that you've tried? I know that you've done kind of like multi-level marketing or other type of things. How would you compare us, or where would you maybe rank ATN compared to those other things?
I would definitely rank it at the top. Again, it's the things I looked into. They say that they're passive income, but they don't end up actually being passive income, and they don't end up being exactly what you think you're buying into. So I would definitely rank it on the top. Plus, it again truly set it and forget it, but also just seeing those returns right away. That's turned into now my plan. One of the things I want to pursue the most heavily to replace my income for me to leave my corporate job. So
What's your what's your goal there? Do you have like a timeline? Do you have like an ideal scenario set up?
I'm leaving in October.
Oh, okay.
So that's where I would be looking to put more into this, and then hopefully get it to a point where I can live off the interest while I'm pursuing the real estate stuff.
October is a great month. Really, the temperature should shift, and it's going into fall and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So you'll be kind of nice and easy and breezy from that point. I love that.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, in terms of just your kind of experience, and now you're on the other side, and there's still months and years to go with the whole process here. But maybe there's somebody that's maybe watching this that doesn't have somebody that can show them their screen like in person, or they don't have someone who they know specifically who is already a part of our network. So if they're watching this, like in your words, what would you say to them that maybe they're skeptical, they've been burned in the past or things like that, but they actually do have a financial capacity to make something like this work? They just need a little bit of extra motivation. What maybe would you say to them?
What I've had to really kind of change or whatever, really kind of put a different mindset on is things. What I catch myself doing is thinking about how everything used to be, how I was taught with you have the one way to earn your income, and if you get on with a good company, you stay life and blah blah. And I just think what's been important for me is for me to really switch my line of thinking, and that's really thinking about money differently, and doing things differently with your money and your investments is really, I feel like, the future, like, of wealth building, honestly. And I think that that's always a hard hump people to get over, is to not grasp onto those the way we were raised, back in my day. I know that sound makes me sound very old, but it's just changing the way your relationship with money, and having a different perspective, and really shifting it to how do you make your money make you money.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I think that that's harder to come by. Again, that's what we were all ingrained with. I think that was been the biggest kind of aha me.
I had that realization a few years ago myself. You're not gonna, even me making six figures in the corporate world, it wasn't enough. I was living in Los Angeles, and I was a little bit above paycheck to paycheck, but it still was really tough. And I was the only reason why I was above paycheck to paycheck was because my wife was also working at the time. So it was really like, even six figures single person out there, it can be tough. So you need to have income that's coming in outside of your primary source. And if you can have multiple sources, then that's going to be even better. So I'm glad that you realize that and you're on the path of those things, and you'll be retiring, you'll be leaving after 15 long years in that industry. You'll be
Yeah.
finally calling it a career in that way. So, and then what are you going to be doing? You're going to be just on Lake Travis all the time? What are you going to be, what are you going to be doing?
The property stuff, but getting properties, flipping properties, but probably spending a pretty good amount of time on the lake. That sounds fun to me too. We have a little houseboat that I just got there, so
Oh, nice.
that'll be fun to hang out on Lake Travis on that thing.
There you go. I love it. I still haven't actually been to Austin, and one of these days I'll make it out. But that's I know that it's beautiful, and it's kind of they say it's kind of weird out there, but I'm sure weird in a good way. So
Yeah, weird in a good way. And it's getting less and less weird with everybody moving here, but
yeah,
it's still a cool place to check out.
I love it. Cool. Well, Stacy, I appreciate your time giving me the feedback here, and just so I do plan to constantly have some check-ins multiple times throughout the years. So we'll probably connect again maybe in the next 60 or so days and see how
Okay.
things are going, and we'll just keep it going.
All right. Sounds good.
Love it.
Thanks.
All right. Good to meet you.
Appreciate it.
Look forward
Nice
to
to meet
talking to you
you
soon.
too. Bye.
So every 30 days, I talk one-on-one with my clients, and that was their experience. If you want to learn more on how we help our clients earn 60% or more per year, then click the link in the description below.